Hi all, welcome to my RPG Developer Bakin tutorial series. Here is another video. I am Companion Wolf. In this video I'm going to talk about the various text decoration options, similar to the one I did in Smile Game Builder, number 71 if you're interested. In Bakin there appears to be fewer of them, but it does have some additional unique ones. In the events, the display windows are under conversation. There are three which many of you migrating from SGB will be familiar with, and they are display conversation, where you have graphical busts for the speakers in conversations. Display message is a simple message window. Display ticker text is a window with optional scrolling text, useful for introductions and credits. Now in each of these you will have command inputs, which are the messages for the various message controls or for effects, such as bold, italic, underline, font size, and a whole list of others. In each of these you can use the command input by typing them out manually or by clicking on them on each one of these. It doesn't matter which one you use, they will do the same thing, and then you can close the command support by clicking the red X. On a final note, command inputs, if you manually type them in, are case sensitive. So starting with the basics, you have the bold, italics, and underline. Use the appropriate one to enclose the text that you want to embolden. \B at the beginning and a \B at the end. Likewise, italics is \I, underline is \U, and you can always click on this again to refer to it. The same in display conversation. And these will mostly also work in display string as image. But they do not appear to work in display ticker text at all in the current version. Even though it's listed in the input command window, none of these appear to work. So if we playtest, let's make this the starting point and let's playtest. So we can go to Goblin 1. And you can see this is the text, a string. That's the conversation. One before that was in tags, and that's it. Just need to. The next one is the font size. To change the font, as in SGB, we will use the \Z with size enclosed in square brackets. Normal size is 100, and that's the default, so you don't need to bother. Double size is 200, and half size is 50. So to return the font size back to normal or default, we would simply put \Z. There's no point in putting it like this because that's the default size anyway, and you'd be wasting space. As before, these will work in display message, conversation, and string as text, string as image text, but not in ticker text. Let's play test again. Normal, double, and half size, and the conversation, and I didn't put the string. Okay, let's copy this. And we'll have that. In here. And then this should go back up there. So with font size. And that is it in the text string. Font colors are set up with the \C, and the colors hexadecimal value in square brackets. Letters can be either upper or lowercase depending on your choice. I use uppercase letters because for me it's easier to read. These must be the full 6-digit values. Shorter versions don't always appear to work, and there's no need to put any kind of hashtag like you normally do at the beginning, because if you do, it'll probably weird out your eyesight. So end the color with \C. If you're going to change the color on the next line or the next word or whatever, you don't need to close it, it will automatically change it. So add it to the very end of the text, and then you can add some other text after that to return to the normal default color, which is usually white. And as before, this will work in conversation, display message, and should work in strings as well. So quickly say this, paste it as that, and we can see the colors in action. I've also, don't worry about these, like this is kind of like for demonstrations as well. This is the string and the string. I put these for reference. It's like the name tags. I will cover that in another tutorial. So for purposes, this is a normal window, colors, the dialogue, and then this is the string. The next in the list is the Ruby command input, which is a means of adding subnotes to text for things like reference or pronunciation. And according to input support, there are 2 variations. The first one is with a single letter. The format is \R and whatever you want to put in the square brackets, as I have done here. The \R with the word 11 to represent 11 out of 1,000. That should be good enough. What this will do is add a note, as it says to the command input support window, over the letter immediately after the square bracket. This variation is a bit of a strange one, as it'll literally try to squeeze the entire string between the square brackets so that it fits into that single character space, resulting in microscopic, unreadable text. We'll see about that in a bit. It's fine for 5 characters or less, but anything above that, it's a no. Exactly the same was true with its SGB version. My advice, don't use this one, ever. Instead, use the second variation, which is a bit more flexible. Its format is \R as well. But in the square brackets we have 2 settings, string and Ruby. That's according to this. In other words, string, the first part, is the bit displayed in the message window, and Ruby, second part, is what appears above it. You can use numbers, letters and symbols in any combination. One example is to display the word equivalent of 100 above the text, and another one here is for pronunciation. So the Ruby, after the comma, becomes a phonetic translation of the word string before the comma, whether it's a place name or something else entirely. It's important to note that you can only use one comma. It's important to note that you can only use one comma, because if you do, then it'll confuse it and it'll do some strange things. This works in all windows except ticker text, which doesn't support any of these commands yet, and yes, it'll work in string as text image as well. So now if we play test it again, do it properly, you can see here that the string is the \r and the Ruby thing is that little tiny Ruby. This is what I meant about the microscopic text, is instead of spanning it across or adding it as a footnote, it'll basically compress it and try to compress it in that small area which is unreadable. So instead, this is what it is: 100, 100, tutoria, and right above you will get a phonetic to translate this, tut or ia. Same with conversation. And this is what I wanted to show this. This is what happened when you try to do it in ticker text, which happens with most things. Now the next few are the message wait commands. Whereas \w on its own, here it is, will wait half a second before displaying what is next in the sequence. \w with a number between the square brackets will wait those many seconds. And as I have done here, this is a bit complex. You can pause the video to see how it's done, but it's basically I will wait half a second, and then it'll display the C, then it'll wait 0.4 seconds, R, 7, 9, and so on and so on. Have a look at this and study it. Bakin, as with SGB, likes to display text a letter at a time, but if you want to display text immediately, put / and the greater than sign where you want the insta text to start, and then you end it with a / less than sign, as I have done here. It'll wait with my bare hands. I will, and then this part here will be displayed instantly. If you want to wait for the player to press a key mid-speech, waiting for input is a / exclamation mark. It will do just that. And then to close the window automatically, we will use the # thing. I keep on forgetting what that's called, but it's normally Shift-6. You might want to put a wait, either this one or this one, before closing the window. Otherwise the message window will just close everything without waiting for anything, and you might not be able to get to see the text before it closes. Now, as before, all of these work in display text, conversation, but you've guessed it, not in ticker text. You can use them in string as image too. It won't complain, but they'll be ignored, and there's little point in putting them in strings anyway. So for the final play test, we will go to the last goblin. I will, and you can see here that the letters have the weights behind them, and then I will crush. It's a typewriter effect, and then U hard. So this is where it waits for. The U hard is the insta text, and then this is waiting for it. Text input, of course you are, and it will automatically close the window, and it's the same way in the display conversation. And once again, that is the mess that ticker text has. I mean, honestly, Smile Boom, please do something about this, so at least we can have bold, italics, and underline, and font sizes, if nothing else. Anyway, that's it for now. In part 2 of text decoration, which will be sometime later, I will go through the remaining commands we didn't cover. These here, variables, names, blink speed, blink rate, lip sync, and all of the name box, including examples and a bit more detail on their use. You can follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and soon probably on Instagram. I'm looking at some others as well. And if you'd like to support me, you can donate through PayPal or buy me a coffee, or when I'm live streaming through Streamlabs. All of the monies go towards mostly server costs for the web hosts and stuff like that. All of the links are in the video description. You can also join the official RPG Developer Bakin and Smile Game Builder Discord if you haven't already. The link will be in the description also, and if you claim your role before you do anything, you can have anything from game developer to supporter. All of the instructions are in there. Join up. That's it for this tutorial. Subscribe as usual, and press the bell icon when you want to be notified of when I upload a new video. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.